What's up?
Hello, everybody. Raul Luna here. Welcome to Super Sunday. Another Sunday. Can you believe it? From my home to wherever you are. Hey, I'm excited to be here for a few minutes. So, welcome, Instagram. Welcome, Facebook and YouTube. I'm going to be sharing today, the two formulas. So pay close attention. But before I actually get into it, make sure that you hit like, subscribe to the channel, turn on the notification button. Don't forget to leave me a message and share the video with others. Okay. So I wanted it to basically come in and for a few moments and share, the two formulas. And the reason being is because I think it's important to know what, most of the people actually end up doing as they start a new journey as a real estate investor, as a real estate professional, in a sales career, whatever that is for you. The reality is that I encounter myself doing exactly the same thing that I'm going to be sharing here with you in a moment. And as I'm sharing it, just make sure that obviously you comment down below on what is it that you take. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to share first the formula of failure. Okay. And what most people actually do as they start or they embark a new journey, and why is it that you should avoid it? And if you're basically on that type of a rut, you got to change right away to the success formula. So let's get started, right? The failure formula first. And you may be thinking, why in the heck is Raul actually sharing the failure formula? Let me tell you one thing. If you don't recognize, where you are, it's just like the GPS. If the GPS doesn't know or doesn't recognize where you are at the moment, then how can you go to a different destination, right? How can you go, somewhere? So you got to have both sides. You got to be clear on both sides, where you are, where you're headed. And many people don't realize, I was one of them for certainly that, I didn't realize that this is the formula, which is 4 steps. People get excited. I used to go to events and get really, really excited and buy the courses or buy the books and things like that. So you get excited, number 1. Number 2, after the excitement, you get started. Okay. You get started, you take the action, get moving forward. And then number 3, you get distracted. Life hits you in the way, or gets in the way. And guess what? Distractions become bigger than whatever your dreams or focus at the time was. And then step number 4 is that most people quit. And, they quit and justify that, maybe that thing wasn't for them and things like that. And interesting enough, I remember going through life on, basically going through those 4 steps over and over and over. Whether it was reading a book, I would get excited and get started, get the book, get started, and then get distracted and then quit. Right. And the same thing could be true for anything that you're looking to do in life. That's the path that most people, that's the formula, the path that most people actually end up, going through. And the interesting thing is that whether you have been there or you're currently there, make sure that you make a change. Nothing changes until you change. Nothing truly changes until you recognize that you need to do the change. And now I'm going to jump into the success formula. And the success formula, ladies and gentlemen, is the one that, you got to go through 4 steps as well. And you can describe success as to whatever you want. It could be a money amount. It could be an emotional state. It could be whatever you decide to define success. It could be happiness, whatever it is. It could be the fact that you want to take your family wherever you want to take it, or you're seeking for, a inner discovery, whatever that may mean to you. You define it, is your life. You want to make sure that you're in control. But there are 4 steps. Number 1, make sure you have specific goals. Make sure what that goal is to you, that it's important to you. So have the goal. And number 2, create a plan. Make sure that you create a plan on how is it that you're going to achieve that goal. And number 3, make sure that you actually, commit completely to the goal and to the plan. And last but not least, make sure that you take, action with rhythm. And what do I mean action with rhythm? So let's first get into the, goals. A lot of people have goals, but their goals, they're, for whatever reason, are not backed up by a plan. They're not backed up with something specifically as this is exactly what I'm going to do. Okay. And interesting enough, the same goes true, where many people, the same goes true that if you don't have a goal, you don't have a plan, and you're not committed and you don't have an action rhythm, it's easier to just give up, or it's easier to get distracted. And not even giving up, it's really just getting distracted and abandoning exactly what you have started it or that you wanted it to achieve. So having that said, goals, make sure that it's a goal that keeps you inspired, that makes you cry, that wants you to, that keeps you, in a high level energy. And make sure that you take a moment, build a plan. Doesn't have to be a perfect one. As a matter of fact, the plan is never perfect. It will change, throughout the way, which that plan will be, what? If it's reading a book, hey, listen, I want to read a book in a month. Guess what? To finish it in a month, if it has, let's just say 31 chapters, I'm going to have to read, one chapter, one chapter a day or something like that, right? And then commit to it. You got to commit. And what is the definition of commitment? It's, doing what you said that you were going to do, even when with the emotion that you said it with, it's already long gone. In other words, doing the thing that you said that you were going to do, even when you don't feel like doing it. Okay. So, people that understand that commitment comes first and results come after or come second, they'll get it. And that's the success formula. Number one, the goals. Number two, the plan. Number three, commit. And last but not least, make sure that you have a rhythm, an action with rhythm. What do I mean by an action with rhythm? Is that once you set a rhythm of the things that you're going to do, you cannot fall short from it. Example, going back to the book, reading a chapter a day. Well, you cannot. Once you set the rhythm of what you're going to do, you cannot lower that rhythm. You can accelerate it, you can level it up, but you cannot lower it down. And I can tell you this, that if you do it in a very committed, consistent way with intensity, sooner or later, you'll start hitting momentum. And ladies and gentlemen, the two formulas, the failure is what majority of people unconsciously, or some of them consciously, go through. And it's majority. I mean, in the 90% or more, people, start things and they quit on things. And it's interesting to see that a lot of the people don't, they just don't finish what they started. And that's because they're activating the failure formula even without knowing that that's what they're doing. Because I was doing that in my first, decade, in my first few years of starting as a real estate investor. And guess what? I soon came to realization that I needed to activate the success formula, which is the one that I just gave you. But I noticed that the action had to be a rhythm action. That once I set the tone, once I set the rhythm, once I said I'm going to read, like today, I read an hour every single day. Guess what? It's an hour. I can't do anything less. It has to be an hour or more. Okay. It has to be an hour or more. And, that's the rhythm that I'm talking about. And then when you're actually doing that in a very consistent way, bingo, you start entering eventually into momentum, and then it becomes a habit, and then it becomes a lifestyle. And then all of a sudden you are a success because of the person that you decided to become and adopted. When you adopt precisely the success formula, you are a success lifestyle person for whatever that may mean to you. For the happiness, for completing the book, because now you complete the book and start another one, start another one, start another one. And you know that whatever you start, you can finish because that's who you are. So ladies and gentlemen, leave me a message down below on what is it that you actually took about today's share on Super Sunday Social Media Live here with me. And don't forget to share this video with others. So hopefully you got it there. The failure formula, the success formula. Leave me down below if there's anything that you do, to continue crushing it, to continue winning in life. All right. Congratulations for being here with me on Sunday. And I'll send you a virtual hug. And always remember that you're one freaking real estate deal away from changing your financial landscape. See you again. Cansas de ver acá.